All right, guys, what's going on? Matt here. Today we are going to look at the Cold Steel 2022 lineup. I know what you're thinking, Matt. You already looked at the Cold Steel 2022 lineup. Apparently, what we looked at and what a lot of people looked at was kind of a preemptive upload to the Cold Steel lineup. Maybe something that went out that GSM, Cold Steel's parent company, didn't intend to kind of have come out. So, yeah, we're going to look at the actual Cold Steel 2022 lineup. And there's going to be some repeats, obviously, as you can see by the blades right here, you know. But there's going to be some different designs. And honestly, guys, going through this catalog kind of brings me back to old times when I was 16 and I got my first Cold Steel catalog in the mail. It makes me happy to see that they're still doing something like that. And I'm sure they will ship some of these out as well. This catalog makes me a lot more excited about the Cold Steel lineup, even though there are some repeats. Let's go on through the actual Cold Steel 2022 lineup. So we got some of the new designs right there. Just to preface, all these blades, on display right here. So we're talking about the new axis lock, which is really cool. It kind of lists it out. I think I was a little confused about how this works. This looks, gosh, what does it look like? It kind of looks, I guess, like a shark lock or kind of like their ram lock that they use on their pocket Bushmen. Really interesting design. This could be a winner. This could be a really big winner. I talked about how I really liked that drifter design. I'm kind of using my computer and tablet mode, so I'm kind of stretching this in and out. Of course, we're talking about steel and heat treatment. All the steels that they use some really, really great steels, obviously. What's in XHP? Do they have anything in XHP this year? That'd be interesting to see. And some not great ones that we don't all, love. But anyway, yeah, let's keep rolling, okay? So it talks about the Triad Lock as well. Here's some newer designs, and I think they're kind of showcasing their new designs on here. I think that a lot of these newer designs, they kind of have a lot of those same design elements of like the Recons and the Code 4s. And maybe they're trying to distance themselves from Demco designs, kind of, place themselves as, knife makers, and that's totally okay. So we got some classics right here. We all know the Recon 1 series and the AK-47 series and the American Lawman series. Let me know, guys, if you want me to check out the mini Recon ones. Let's get this. Will this focus? Maybe not. I like these. These are, I believe, FRN handles in OS 10. Still great design. Let me know if you'd like to see one of those up for review. I'd like to get my hands on one of those. Of course, we all know the 8010. I've owned a couple 8010s actually, and I've never reviewed one. That was kind of when I was on a hiatus from reviewing. But I'll have to get one of those, and I'll have to check it out for you guys. And so, of course, this year, will this... let's see if this will kind of focus itself in. No, it's not going to focus itself in. That's okay. They're coming out with one in Tanto point, which I think is great right there. So that's really cool. And they're coming out with that in the 8010 Lite as well. So we got a full-on 8010, which again, we didn't see in the last kind of video I made. I probably should have waited a little while, but that's just what we had, and so I wanted to kind of get into it. So we got a Tanto version of the regular 8010 and a Tanto version of the 8010 Lite. Again, I'm excited about that 8010 Lite. I think that'll be a cool design. One of these days I'll get my hands on one of those 8015s as well and review that for you guys. I like this drop point Voyager. This came out last year. I want to get my hands on one of those as well. So we got the Voyager series classic. Look at that crest design. It's just crazy. I love that thing. That's awesome. Yeah. You got some holdouts right here. Let me know if you guys like the holdouts. I understand their purpose. Obviously, they're fighting knives. I just never connected with those holdout designs. And of course, we got the 4MAX and the 4MAX Scout. I've had a 4MAX Scout. You guys have seen that review on my channel. It's a great blade. It's just so darn heavy. I just couldn't bring myself to carry it all that often. I'd love one of those 4MAXs. Heck, I'd love one of those Italian or American 4MAXs, but those are crazy expensive now. Of course, the Spartan. We love the Spartan. So yeah, it looks like this Spartan is going to be full flat ground, the new serrated version of the Spartan. Sure, I think that's all right. A lot of people like that full flat grind and those serrations. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but if you like them, there you go. there's your option. Tiger Claw, a bunch more kind of standard options. They didn't come out with the Espada in medium. Sorry, guys. I wanted to see it too come back in medium, but hopefully they'll start stocking these Espadas soon. That's something that I know they've struggled with is the Espada. I would also like a Talwar. I'm just reminded of all these designs I would like. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's see some new designs. So we've looked at these blades. I don't know how to pronounce this one. The Oyabun. I like the design of that knife, and I like the full-on version, not just the 4034 one, obviously. But it's a strange design to me because the liner is super thin, but then the blade stock's super thick. It just doesn't make much sense to me. I like this Silver Eye actually quite a bit. I think it's a pretty knife. Hasn't gained that much traction as far as I know. And I've also had an Airlight, and I did not review that. I'll have to get to that as well. The SR1's classics in the Cold Steel lineup now. Some of Cold Steel's hunting designs. Some of people like these designs. The Ultimate Hunter is apparently very popular, and I can see why. Looks really comfortable. Nice G10 scales. And the Bush Ranger I really like as well because it has that, that deployment, that pocket deployment, as well as just being a nice clip point design in S35. Dang, Cold Steel has some great knife designs. We got the Range Boss right here. This is new, or maybe it was, I think it was new for 2021. In 4116, I'm totally okay with 4116. I think it's a perfectly adequate steel. Yeah, if you like that design, kind of a classic style knife like a buck 119 or a buck 110, but you want something more modernized, yeah, go for it. And it'll probably perform similarly to 420 HD, though the Boss Heat Treat is great. Here's this Trapper series we were looking at. Again, doesn't connect super well with me, but some people probably like it, and I bet the QC will be really good. It's usually pretty darn good on Cold Steel, so if you're into those, there you go, and they probably won't be terribly expensive. Let's see, what else? I've reviewed the Finwolf. It's a nice Scandi Ground folder. Here we go. Got the Counterpoints. Haven't owned one of those, but the designs look pretty cool. Doesn't super, connect with me. It's more of a solely purpose tactical blade. Reviewed the Luzons. Don't have much interest in the Crawford. It's just doesn't do much for me, right? Though I'm glad it is in 4116. It looks like they're switching back to 4116 where some of their steels, which I think is good because I think I prefer it from what I've seen to the 4034, especially for just how rust resistant it is. It's pretty awesome in that capability. At the Tylite series, I love that they hang on to the Tylite series. They still have the premium Tylites in S35. They still have, the G10 Tylite, with that kind of DLC coated blades. Those are sweet looking. Again, they're not blades I'll probably use or carry. It's just I think they're cool, and if you like them, go for it. I might get one of these Frenzies one day, though. I do like that Frenzy. I think that's just a cool looking blade. All right, so we talked about the click and cut folders right here. Here it is. It shows you the mechanism, which is really cool. Shows you exactly how to exchange blades. I think that's just great. I think that's awesome, and I think this is a great design for Cold Steel. No, it's not premium knife, but it's user knives, and that's what Cold Steel makes, along with making some premium knives. So I think that's a great idea. The click and cut folder. I think that's that's going to be a big win. Right. So this is the standard click and cut, right? Let's see. Yeah, and here's the click and cut folder. Okay. So, and that shows you how to, disengage and take care of that click and cut folder right here. So I think this will be even a bigger win than the click and cut. Again, click and cut max hunting kit. I don't love this, but again, it might be a great idea with that saw. That's actually really interesting. Very modular. So we see these GSM influences like I talked about. Okay. Yeah, we talked about the Lynn Thompson Spartan and Leatherneck. Love that Leatherneck Bowie. I want to pick one of those up. Maybe not the Lynn Thompson one, but the standard one. Thompson Saber. Looks like their 1917 Saber. Would love one of those. Okay, we got some of these we talked about. Okay. Yeah, let's kind of scroll through these a little bit. Interesting that they do this Master Hunter in VG1 Sanmai and not VG10. I'm not sure why. Because most are in VG10 Sanmai. Also, we have the 3V Master Hunter, which I think was either discontinued or out of stock for a while. I think that's great. I'm glad to see that back. So yeah, let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Some of their drop forward series, some good knives in that series. Of course, got this leatherneck Bowie we talked about. Love that. I'm really excited for that design. So this is what I really wanted to talk about, guys. Something that we noticed all of a sudden, and it wasn't even on Cold Steel's primary website, on eBay, from some very reputable sellers. I noticed these Warcraft Tantos, and not these right here, but let's zoom in on these, right? You know, it was very clear these were FRN handles, right? So they were made of 4034, which you know, I'm just not a fan of from everything I've seen, from the testing I've seen. I haven't used it. I've used it a little bit, but not much, and I'm not a super big fan of it. So I think a lot of us in the people who like cold steel knives were kind of worried. You know, the Warcraft Tantos used to be made of premium S30 or premium 3V steel, G10 handle scales, very well made, very well designed, and then they switched to this 4034. What we didn't know is that they were switching from 3V to Sanmai, which I prefer 3V over Sanmai, but Sanmai is a very great steel, and so you still have a premium version for the Warcraft series. Better yet, look what's coming back, this 12-inch XL Warcraft, which is awesome and so cool, and I want to get my hands on so badly, right? So, you know, we're going back to having, you know, even though it's maybe not as premium as 3V, we're getting Sanmai Warcraft blades, and I think that's awesome. And they're in G10 handle scales. I actually much prefer those G10 scales, more of a smooth contour than like dedicated finger grooves. I'm really excited for these guys. Not so much for these, but hey, if these are cheap, you want a budget option, go for it. So I'm really excited about these Warcraft Tantos, and I want to get my hands on one of these. I would love all three, to be honest. But if I had to pick one, well, probably pick the standard 7.5-inch blade one right there. We get the AK-47 field knife. I love the design of that blade. Apparently the handle scales, and I've held one in hand at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Terribly uncomfortable. Like holding it in hand is fine, but any sort of movement would be very uncomfortable. Of course, we got some of my favorite, one of my favorite blades, if not my favorite fixed blade of all time, the Master Tanto. Gosh, I love that blade. I have that one in 3V as well. And they're not getting rid of the Nightfall series, it looks like. They're going to keep, looks like the Nightfall, Magnum Tanto 2 and Magnum Tanto 9, which is pretty cool. Those are cool. They're flat ground. They have really thick edges, so they don't like chop or anything well. You know, not that they're chopping knives, but they don't cut all that well. But they're crazy super strong, so... And of course, one day I have this knife, and I promise I will review it. It's more of a short sword. I have that Magnum Tanto 12, and it's incredible. All right. Some of these small leather necks, might pick one of those up. They look like fun little neck knives. Maybe a little bit too thick, though, in hand. See, is there anything else I need to talk about? Actually, guys, let me know if you want to see a review on some cold steel kitchen knives. My wife and I own a few, and they're like our main kitchen knives. We really enjoy them. So let me know if you'd like to see any reviews on those. So we have some sharpeners. Is that a constant angle sharpener? What is that? Benchtop sharpener. Let's see. That looks like a constant angle sharpener, which is a really, really good idea. Good call, Cold Steel. Yeah, why not have your own sharpening system? You know, you're giving people blade options. Again, these two options, garbage. Don't touch them, guys, seriously. But a constant angle sharpener, great idea. Fantastic idea. We have these Razor Tech series. They are not going to be in 4034, apparently. They're going to be in, 4116, which I'm okay with. You know, it's one of those, I'd still classify it as like a working steel. I still don't think these are going to, I feel like they're going to be a big hot spot right there. Right in this spot. But, you know, we will see, right? We will see. I could be completely wrong, and it could be great. Anything else we got new? Get the lights, you know, great options if you don't want to spend the money on a Master Tanto or an Outdoorsman, but go for it, I say. These cool katanas, you know, we talked about the swords. Cold Steel still got so many cool swords. Look at that Jin, dang. Look at that Jin, oh my goodness. Jade Lion Dagger, oh man. I love the Chinese Jin, it's one of my favorite sword designs, so pretty. And of course, I love a katana and a classic saber as well. Let's see. Let's look at their sabers. Yeah, here we go. One sword I've always wanted to get, and I ever since I was a kid and kind of learned about cold steel. Let's see if they have it. First of all, I love that hunting sword as well. Would I take that hunting? If I went hunting for like boar, I mean, sure, why not? I'd probably put like dress the part, right? That would be awesome. I mean, I've brought a sword boar hunting before. Yes, I have. I brought the Cold Steel Gladius machete. Because I know how crazy wild boar can be, and if you don't shoot it right and you have to dispatch it, you don't want to do so with a knife. And sometimes getting this right shot without completely destroying the meat, you want to stick a blade in it, and that's actually a pretty common old practice. So yes, I did bring a sword with me while boar hunting one time. Where's that sword I was talking about? These are pretty cool though. I can't find it right here, but it's the 1917 Cutlass. I just think it's awesome. It's got like a great blued steel blade, nice guard. I'd love one of those. Maybe they've discontinued it. It's very possible. Should have picked one up when I had the chance, right? All right, let's keep moving. More cool sabers. What is that? Hungarian saber. That's really interesting. Really broad guard, almost as big as like a bastard sword. Yeah, really cool blades. Cool swords. Let's keep moving. I don't love these series. I had the pocket Bushmen, and it was great as like a first decent knife, but the locking mechanism I didn't love, and I actually ended up I used it for something I shouldn't have. I pounded with it, and it kind of jacked up the locking mechanism. Garbage right here. Hate it. Stupid machete version. Gosh, just doing the same thing Gerber did. I hate it. I don't love these Bushman series, but I know a lot of people who do, so go for it. Cold Steel still has some machetes, right? Chinese War Sword. I need to get that. It seems like they've toned down a little bit. I say they've toned down their machetes, and boom, they still have the Gladius machete. They still have all these machetes. I guess they just haven't kept them in stock, guys. So, let's put the pressure on them to keep these in stock because these are so cool. I just love that they do all these crazy machete designs. Let's see. I owned that Viking axe, that bearded Viking axe. That was nice. I own, I own this Axe Gang hatchet. It's awesome. It's a great hatchet. It's a little bit heavy for like a backpacking hatchet. It's a lot heavy. It would need to be like 10 ounces lighter to carry around, like if I was going on one of my backpacking trips. But as like for car camping and stuff, it's great. And they actually own this Trail Boss too, and that's great too. These axes are fantastic for the price. Well hung, decent 1055 steel. So yeah. So we're going through some older designs, some trainers. Here we go. So their maces. So cool that they still do this stuff, right? Just so cool. They're throwers, true flight throwers, and guys, I'll be honest with you. When I first saw that in some of their trainers, I need to get some of these just to. I'd like to learn some, basic drills just for fun, because I enjoy that kind of stuff, and I need to get some of these C clips as well for some of my blades. I'd like to learn just some basic training techniques, just with a knife, just for fun, really, just to, just as a kind of pastime. But when I first saw the new knives, yeah, I was a little disappointed. There wasn't anything I hated. There was still some good stuff that I was really excited about. But seeing this catalog really brought back memories, and it also made me think, I think that they're doing essentially what most knife companies do. We didn't really talk much about these because we talked about these before. The Verdict and the what's the other one? Where's this other one? The Drifter. I talked extensively about those. But they're doing what essentially most knife companies do, which is, hey, here's a couple new designs and maybe some variations on our other stuff. And so long as the new designs connect with you, I think that's what a knife company is doing right and is doing well. And so this makes me feel like, no, Cold Steel has not lost it. Even though, it's been sold to GSM, they still have all these awesome, crazy designs. And I love them, and I am pretty excited about some of the new designs in the Cold Steel lineup. So that is my second take on the Cold Steel 2022 lineup. I might be doing Spyderco next, might be doing CRKT next. Let me know what you guys would like to see in the next video. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace. Oh, and also, sorry to cut this video kind of Now it's cutting it off. But I want to remind you guys, remember, if you haven't entered to win that Cold Steel Kobun, make sure and go back to that video. It's titled, I'm giving away a Cold Steel Kobun. Follow those instructions, and yeah, so you can be entered to win that. And that giveaway is going to be going on the week of February 8th. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.